Did you know that the book of Genesis, the first book of the Bible and the foundation of everything, was never written to answer the questions most people ask today? It wasn't designed as a science manual or a strict historical timetable. It wasn't created to win arguments or fuel debates. In its original world, Genesis solved a deeper problem, a problem of identity, purpose, and meaning, because ancient cultures filled their lands with loud creation stories. Stories claiming humans were accidents. Stories saying people existed only to serve violent, unpredictable gods. Stories teaching that life had no real purpose beyond survival. But Genesis stepped into that noise with quiet confidence. It offered a different story, a better story, a story where creation is intentional, a story where order rises from chaos, a story where humanity carries dignity, not shame. And every word was written to reveal the heart of God, who creates with purpose, speaks with love, and invites humans into partnership. This is a story of how Genesis reshaped ancient thinking, revealed God's character, and set the stage for everything that follows in Scripture. Genesis opens with a single Hebrew phrase, Bereshit bara Elohim. It simply means, in the beginning, God created. This short line challenges every ancient worldview with one bold idea. Creation has a beginning. Creation has order. Creation has intention. And creation comes from one God, not many warring deities. Genesis then introduces a world that begins in chaos. Dark, empty, unformed. But God speaks. And everything changes. Light appears. Waters separate. Land forms. Plants grow. Time begins. Life takes shape. Each step feels calm. Each moment feels ordered. There is no struggle. No battle. Just a God whose voice brings beauty from nothing. Then Genesis slows down. The tone softens. The story becomes personal. God forms humanity from the dust. The Hebrew word for formed is yatsar. It describes a potter shaping clay with intention and care. Humanity is made in God's image. This means humans carry purpose, value, meaning, responsibility. Genesis then describes Eden, a garden filled with beauty and abundance, a place where God and humans walk in harmony. In chapter 2, the narrative becomes even more tender. God notices human loneliness. He creates companionship, community, a shared mission. Genesis paints creation as a gift, a home, a partnership between God and humanity. Everything begins with peace. Everything begins with purpose. Everything begins with a world meant for goodness. Then the tone changes. Chapter 3 introduces tension. A creature appears. Crafty, clever, dangerous. The serpent whispers a new idea, a doubt, a suggestion that God cannot be trusted. The heart of the temptation is simple. Decide the truth for yourself. Define life on your own terms. Choose independence over relationships. Humanity listens. Humanity breaks trust. Humanity steps outside God's design. Genesis captures this moment with painful honesty. Shame rises. Fear arrives. Innocence fades. The world changes. This is not a story about fruit. It is a story about trust. It is a story about a relationship breaking. But even in this moment, God searches for humanity. He calls out. He moves toward them. He provides covering. He promises a future rescue. Genesis 3 introduces pain, but also introduces hope. A coming figure will crush evil. A future victory will undo the damage. The story is broken but not abandoned. After Eden, human life grows, but so does brokenness. Chapter 4 introduces Cain and Abel, two brothers, two offerings, one heart drifting from God. Jealousy rises. Violence follows. The first family experiences heartbreak. Humanity spreads across the earth, but corruption grows with it. Violence increases. Greed expands. Communities fall into chaos. Genesis describes this decline with simple honesty. Humans choose independence. Humans forget purpose. Humans drift from God's heart. But God is not silent. He seeks restoration. He warns. He calls. He invites. Then the story reaches Noah. The world is filled with violence. Yet Noah walks with God. God preserves humanity through him. The flood becomes a reset, not destruction. After the flood, humanity starts again, but the same old patterns return. Then comes Babel, a tower built to create fame, a project designed to make humanity self-sufficient, a symbol of pride and independence. God intervenes, not out of rage, but protection. Human language divides. Nations spread. Human ambition slows. Genesis 4-11 shows a simple truth. When humanity walks away from God, life fractures, but God continues pursuing them with patience and mercy. Chapter 12 is a turning point. God calls a man named Abram. He is not powerful, not influential, not a king, just an ordinary man from an ordinary city. But God makes a breathtaking promise. I will bless you. I will make you into a great nation. Through you, all families will be blessed. The Hebrew word for bless is barak. It means life flourishing under God's favor. Abraham's journey is slow and uncertain. He makes mistakes. He struggles. He doubts. But he keeps walking with God. God forms a covenant, a sacred agreement, a promise that depends on God, not human perfection. Abraham and Sarah wait many years for a child. Their faith wavers. Yet God remains faithful. Isaac is born, a promise kept after a long season of waiting. Genesis uses Abraham's story to show God's character. He is patient. He is faithful. He keeps his promises even when humans fail. Isaac continues Abraham's lineage. His story is quieter but still significant. He learns to trust God during famine and conflict. Then the focus shifts to Jacob. Jacob is complex. He is clever, ambitious, deeply flawed, yet chosen by God. Jacob wrestles through life. He deceives. He runs. He fears. But he also encounters God in powerful ways. One night, Jacob wrestles with a mysterious figure. Many believe this is a divine encounter. Jacob refuses to let go until he receives a blessing. He receives a new name, Israel. It means one who wrestles with God. This name becomes the identity of a nation, a people who struggle, fail, rise, and return, a people God refuses to abandon. Joseph's story is one of the most powerful narratives in Scripture. It begins with dreams, dreams that reveal future influence, dreams that stir jealousy. His brothers betray him. He is sold into slavery. He is taken to Egypt. His life collapses. But Genesis shows a silent truth. God is with Joseph in every hardship, in every setback, in every injustice. Joseph rises in Egypt. Then he falls again through false accusation. But even in prison, Joseph holds to integrity. He interprets dreams with God's help. He is eventually elevated to power. Famine strikes the region. Joseph's family travels to Egypt for grain. They do not recognize him, but he recognizes them. Joseph chooses forgiveness instead of revenge. He sees a bigger story. He tells them, God used this for good. He rescues the family that once rejected him. Genesis ends with restoration. A broken family becomes a nation. A painful story becomes a path to salvation. Genesis is not just an ancient book. It is a mirror. It reveals God's character. It reveals human nature. It reveals the beginning of God's plan to restore the world. It shows a God who creates with purpose, a God who pursues lost humanity, a God who keeps promises across generations, a God who works through broken people to fulfill beautiful plans. Genesis sets a foundation for every story that follows, and it invites every reader into God's ongoing story of redemption. If this journey helped you understand Genesis more clearly, consider joining our community. Subscribe for more simple explanations, deep insights, and powerful Bible stories. And share this video with someone who needs a gentle, clear introduction to Scripture. Your support helps this mission grow. Let's walk through the Bible together.